I had an incredible curiosity toward the Israeli society, even though I grew up in a very liberal, left-wing, pro-Palestinian family in Beirut. We grew up in a very, very hostile environment where we were raised. Me, Ziad. I'm not going to speak big politics. I'm going to say just my own personal life. We were raised with this incredible hatred for this enemy. And we were raised all our life not believing that the Israeli or the Jews have a perspective or have a narrative. I mean, when you're a teenager, you're growing up and you hear about the Yom Kippur War and all these wars, you cannot expect from a child and a teenage to grow up thinking like, let me listen to the other side. It's too much to ask for somebody.
Always one-sided,
It's,
right?
it's impossible.
Right.
When I went to Los Angeles and I attended film school in San Diego State, it is a very, very slow progression where you sit down with supposedly the enemy. You meet Israeli students, you meet Jewish students, and then you kind of have, there's always a tension because this is how my background is. But then, you start taking back and forth. There's a dialogue that goes back and forth, and you light a cigarette with them. Then that's it. Suddenly I'm sitting with somebody who has my own insecurity too, who has his own dialogue too. This is what's so important. And it was a very, very slow process. If you've asked me to do the attack 25 years ago, I would not have been able to do it. It had to take a lot of time. And when I stumbled upon that material and we started adapting the screenplay, I felt so in relationship with that character who is ambivalent and who, whenever you want to rise above the conflict, you're probably condemned to lose that battle. And this is how we took that script and we started doing it. We went and financed that movie. Qatar, the country of Qatar, had came up with a film fund wanting to promote film from the Middle East. So we applied the film, and they gave us some money, and we went and shot the film. They gave us a big part of the money. Canal Plus from France gave us a little bit. The Belgian government gave us a little bit. But the main money came from Qatar and an Egyptian producer, very famous Egyptian producer. That was like one of the few times where money was being invested in independent Arab cinema. And we went to Telluride last year, and then after Telluride, we went to Toronto. So the Qataris were very happy, and they flew to Toronto to attend the screening because they haven't seen it yet. And after the screening was over, they were doing a cocktail, and they invited us, and I came with my producer, Jean Brea, and then the head of him took us to the side, and he says, look, we got to tell you something. We need you to take our name off the screen credit. I said, why? He says, how much it cost? I said, I want you to, they paid the money. It's not they're going to recover the money. They just did not want their name on the film. I said, you got to give me a reason why I should take it. I'll take it off. That's fine. But he says, because that film caused us some problem. I said, what are the problems? He says, look, we are showing both perspective and we understand, but Qatar is going at a time right now, last year, where we're involved in some revolutions in the Arab world. He says, because that movie could open some doors we don't want to face right now. I said, but you, an Arab country, you came up with the idea that you want to promote democracy, Arab films. This is your idea, not mine. He says, look, you're looking at the tree, we're looking at the forest. My producer told me later he actually overcharged them to take the credit of the film. Why not? And then the film went to the Egyptian producer who saw it, and then she said, I can't have my name on the film. I said, why? She says, why do you show a Palestinian committing an act blowing kids in a restaurant and you're not showing what the Israeli do to the Palestinian? I said, because this is not the story. The story is not about Israeli, what they do. The film is about a story of a woman, a modern Christian, liberal, supposedly pretty woman who blows herself up in a restaurant. This is the story, not the other way. He says, yeah, but you could have used some shots showing the Jenin massacre. I says, the Jenin is symbolic. The Jenin is just, we wanted to show the rubble, we want to show the destruction, and I did not want to see veiled women and kids going out and crying because it's not in the story. And then she says, that causes us a problem. I said, Hadil, what is the problem? She says, I can't have you release that film. It took 6 months of negotiation until a couple of months ago, where finally they agreed to release the film. The 1955 law forbid me to go to Israel. I went and did it. When the authorities saw the movie, they gave us the approval about it. But then there is a committee in Lebanon, it's called the Israel Boycott Committee. But 5, 6 people who probably drink the shisha from time to time. And they made this campaign about stopping the movie. They contacted the Arab League, and the Arab League asked the Lebanese government and all the Arab countries to ban the movie. There are massacres going on in Syria, rape, crime, big time. The Arab League cannot find a unified voice to condemn it. Yet, they managed to find a unified voice to ban the movie. So, and I said it in the BBC press, I said, Ziad Doueri unified the Arabs for the first time. Sometimes the simplest thing could solve big things, because we tried the big things in my life. None of them worked, not a single time. And I find out that the Lebanese and the Israeli, in a lot of ways, are so similar. They are both similar in terms of climate, in terms of the color of the asphalt, in terms of the shrubbery in the street. And I left and I came back and I said, it would have been really nice to be able one day, it sounds naive, but this is how I function, to be one day to say, I'm going for a weekend to have an espresso in Tel Aviv and be back. It's only 200 kilometers from Beirut to Tel Aviv, yet it seemed so far away.